Hi, welcome. In this video, I'd like to discuss how to transition a dog from a bed to a crate. And just coming from a home visit session and focus on helping dog owners in terms of starting to set up a structure, starting to, kind of break the this type of connection in terms of having a dog sleeping up on the bed. And this is where, even with couples, when you talk to couples, and same as the situation here, when a dog gets to that point of being up on the bed, there's always that, it's always going to be one of the couples that really doesn't like it, but doesn't really want to come out and say it, but to really see that as a problem, because it really can interfere in, cause a problem in relationships. This couple here having, young kids, and, focus really needs to be on, again, talk about the role of things, really making sure as a couple that you're not going to have those type of things that are kind of getting in the way or can interfere in enjoying your relationship. And one of the things is dogs become very possessive, and in this case, the dog's actually, and many times I'm asking exactly where does the dog sleep, at the foot of the bed. This dog is starting to get a level where the dog's right in between the couple. Okay, so getting very possessive and very jealous. And so, of course, when I mentioned about, the dog needs to be in the crate. Okay, you need to get that dog off the bed. I can see one of the spouse with a smile on her face, because that's what she wanted to hear. Probably why I was there in the first place. But again, this can be a very challenging thing, because it's kind of like how I the example I use is kind of like getting a child out of the bed when a child gets a certain age. It's just a natural transition. It should be a natural progression in terms of relationship. But it can be very challenging at the same time once you get to a certain level where it becomes a problem. So my encouragement here for people, again, if you're in the situation where you need to get the dog off the bed to get some type of normalcy back in your relationship with your spouse, and it's a problem anyway, because understand when the dog gets on the bed like that, the dog becomes doesn't want to get down, because it's about, the bed represents more kind of emotion, more kind of petting, cuddling with the dog, and so it becomes more of a problem in terms of what a dog gain fulfillment that way. But one of the transitions, because understand that just to move a dog from the bed to a crate outside the bedroom somewhere, that can be very problematic, because then the dog's keeping you awake at night, because the dog is is really whining, not agreeable to a crate in the first place. In this situation, dog doesn't like being in the crate, because again, the crate represents control. And so, especially once the dog understands the transition, dog is going to be very, very much not wanting it. But again, it's part of a process. You really need to begin to transition a dog into getting a dog off a bed and into accepting a crate. Now, one of the ways to do it to make it less challenging and easier process without all the crying and whining is actually move the crate to right next to the bed, on the side, especially when you identify that dog owner who is more emotionally connected to the dog, who you want to make more of the focus in terms of a process, because really you want to focus in on the person who has who spends the most time with the dog, but has more of an emotional bond with the dog. So you want to put the crate on that individual's side of the bed, up near the head of the bed. But now the dog is off the bed, but now in the crate, but now still within the area where the dog was gaining fulfillment through emotion, but again, wrongly, of course. But in doing it, we're kind of manipulating, through control, we're kind of manipulating that transition, so make it easier, so the dog is not going to be in so much chaos and whining so much, because by doing it that way, in terms of having the crate still in the bedroom, but on the bed, not on the bed, but near the bed, okay, the dog is going to be more agreeable to the transition. But this is where you want the dog owner to, instead of offering comfort to the dog or accommodation to the dog, in terms of the dog starts to even not like the crate or starts to whine, you want to make sure the person is connecting with the dog through leadership, okay? Making sure the roles are still transitioning the right way. So you do not want to try to make the dog agreeable by offering emotion and comfort to the dog, which is what the dog wants, but the wrong way within the context of control, okay? The dog is gonna accept that, but it's not gonna be helpful in terms of getting the relationship the right way, in terms of where you want the relationship to go, okay? So again, the dog starts to whine and cry, you want to use the word no, and be somewhat assertive and stern with getting the dog to be agreeable to being there, but in the right role as a follower. But again, by putting the crate on, again, still within the bedroom, but in proximity of where that owner's at, it's going to set up a situation where it's going to make for an easier transition, okay? And here's the thing is, you can have actually 2 crates, one for in the bedroom and a crate outside the bedroom in another area of the house, so that during the daytime, during the whole process, you can still incorporate the crate, have a crate available within the certain living area, so that you can still be doing these interactions that I show people, but still using the crate at times when you're busier, where you can put the dog in a crate area that's perhaps still within the living area, but still having the other crate near the bed. So hopefully that's helpful. I found that doing it that way very helpful for many people. I've had comments afterwards where they've told me that the transition's been much more easier than, again, trying to do it where the dog is in a crate but outside the bedroom area, because what's going to happen is that dog is really going to kick up hard. It's not really reasonable to expect you're going to get some good sleep, because you're in a transition process. You're removing a dog from an area where the dog is in total control, which isn't a healthy place for the dog to be in the first place, up on the bed. But then by having the crate near the bed area, but up even near the general area where the dog was at, but now off the bed, and now with the dog owner, who you need to focus in on as being in a leadership mode in terms of a transition, it just makes it much more the transition much more a better process. Thanks for watching.